Hi guys, video number 2. I just wanted to address that really quickly and give you a system that you can use to come up with action steps faster, because often the problem of taking action is not knowing what to do next, and if you know what to do next, thinking that that next step is actually bigger than it is, and that makes it less likely for you to do it. So let's just say let's take an example, and I've written about this, so I'll link it up below. It's a guest post of mine that was written with that exact system. The tool I use for that helps me with that, is called a next actions list. I think it's from the book Getting Things Done. And the way it works is quite simple. You list out all the tiny steps in your project. Now, you try to think as micro on a level as you can and make the task as small as possible. Let me give you an example. The blog post I wrote for Productivityist, the blog, I set out to do it the day before. So on a Saturday I made that plan, or actually it might have been that very morning. I wrote it on a Sunday in one day. And what I did was, okay, I researched it. I want to write this blog post for them. What do I do? I have to research a topic, come up with a headline. I have to write the content, of course. I have to send them an email pitch about it. Now, those 4 sound like big major steps, right? Researching the topic, alright, the headline is not so big, that might be a good one. But then you have to write the content, so how does that work? And send an email pitch. So, try to break those down further. Research the content. Okay, what do I have to do specifically? Well, I have to find out what was popular on Productivityist before. And I knew I had 2 places to go for that. The blog itself, the popular section, and a tool called BuzzSumo, which I used to do research for that. And I just put the blog in there and looked at what was popular before. So now my 2 tasks became check Productivityist in BuzzSumo and check out the popular section of Productivityist. These are very small and manageable. I can do each of those in 5 to 10 minutes. Next one, come up with a headline. That was actually easy. Yeah, I can do that in 5 to 10 minutes. And 5 to 10 minutes, or even 5 to 10 minutes, I say is a good reference. So a good amount of time that it takes you. But I would go up to 30 minutes because some things will just take longer, like writing the content. So I have 3 tasks now. Next, writing the content. How do I write the content of a blog post? What are the parts of a blog post? Well, there's an intro, obviously, so I have to write an intro. Then there are subsections, and I don't know how many. Let's call them X steps or subsections. So I have to come up with X subheadlines, and for that I made an individual task for each one. So come up with step 1, come up with step 2, come up with step 3, just the headlines for them. Headline for step 3, headline for step 4, and so on. Next, what I would have to do is obviously fill in the blanks and fill each of those steps with, say, 1 to 3 paragraphs. So, next action list goes write paragraph, write step 1, write step 2, write step 3, and all of a sudden everything becomes a whole lot more manageable. I did that all the way to the end, where I would say write, for example, transition headline, transition paragraph, and then the outro or the ending. Conclusion headline, conclusion paragraph. And for the last part, the email pitch, I would do the same. Find the email address. What else do I have to do? Come up with the headline, subject line. And then write the pitch itself and what goes into a good pitch. For example, a personal reference, personal connection, and a short introduction of who you are, and then maybe the article that you want to suggest to them. So that's 3 things. Now, I just spent 2 minutes doing this, but now I have this list of 30 small tasks that I can do, that I can manage, each of which probably in something between 5 and 15 minutes. Maybe some will take 20, that's fine. But now I know exactly which steps I have to take, and each of the steps is very, very small and very, very manageable. And that's what allowed me to sit down in the morning, get going on that list, and just check off the boxes as I went along. And I finished that whole blog post, even though it's 3,000 words plus, in one day. It took me about 5 hours, I think. So that all of a sudden makes it very, very simple. I know what I have to do next. Whenever I don't know what to do next, I just look at that list and pull out the next task. And because each task only takes a short amount of time, it becomes very easy. I can take lots of breaks in between, and it doesn't become a huge drain. Plus, I always know where I'm at in the whole process and where I'm going next. Wonderful, wonderful, just by breaking it down. And I highly suggest you do the same. So use that tactic, and if you want to use it on an ongoing basis, what I do is I define 3 priorities for my day the night before. I set them every night for the next morning, and then I know, and those priorities are similar. They take 30 minutes to an hour. I know what to do in the next day, and I have my plan mapped out already. So remember it, next actions list from getting things done. Think long list of small tasks that you can do very, very quickly and not have to worry about what to do next at all. So a wonderful little idea. I hope you like it. I hope you'll give it a go. And let me know what you think of it. I hope you like it, and I hope you enjoy the article as well. It was written with that technique. So I'm sure you can learn something from that. And I hope that technique serves you as well as it has me. And it helps you become more productive and take action a lot faster. Cheers.